Hi, it's Natalie from CustomCrops.com, and I have a great project for you today. It's a card that's centered around the nestabilities. Spellbinders actually has come out with a series of pendant shapes that we saw at CHA, and I've got a lot of them right here in front of me. There are various shapes and sizes. Basically, the creativity is limitless. But what's nice about these dies is that there are, well, you can cut, you can emboss, and you can also stencil. And in each package there are 4 different designs and shapes. So you can emboss and ink, you can color them with your Copics, you can do all kinds of fun things. So I'm going to be using one of these today to create the pendant part of our card here where our little sentiment lies. Then I will also be using the nestabilities to cut out the shape for our sentiment. So that's another use for our Spellbinders nestabilities. And then I will also be using the Making Memories little pins, and these are the wedding collection. But they're not in the exact color that I want them to be, and I'll be showing you how to use your alcohol inks to change the color. So a lot of fun things to do, so let's get started. So I'm going to be cutting my shape out, and to do that I'm going to be using my wizard machine, and I'm going to just make my layer here. I've got my magnetic mat there, and my pendant goes down, and then you put your paper over the top, and then your other cutting pad over the top of that, and then you can push it through. So then you have your cut shape, just like that. So I will be using the Swiss Dots folder for the Cuttlebug. I'm just going to put my shape into the folder, writing side up, and that gives me a really pretty kind of lacy feel to my shape. So I'm going to cut out my Thinking of You, and I'm using this shape, which is in the Nestabilities Label 3. So same procedure, and cutting out with your wizard here. Let's put this away because we're done with this. And then I'm just going to put my sentiment down. And what's really nice about this magnetic mat is that when you put your nestability down, it kind of sticks to it so that this doesn't slide around when you're putting it through, and then you're sure that you've got your whatever you're putting on your card centered. And then we're also going to be using the standard circles large in order to cut out our little flower shapes. And then I'm going to do this a couple times over with different pattern paper and solid paper. Okay, I think that's about good. So let's put this away and we'll start to assemble our flowers. So the first thing that we want to do before we start working with our flowers is we want to die the center of our flowers, and I use these little push pens by Making Memories in order to do that. So what's really nice is that these are, some of them are white and some of them are clear, but I want them to be color coordinated to my card. So, and I'm working on a Ranger mat, and I'm doing that because this Ranger mat will protect my surface. So I'm just going to take my butterscotch alcohol ink, and I'm just going to add a drop or two to the head of the pin and make sure it gets nice and coated. And then in order for it to dry, I'm going to stick it down into that little packaging, and then that'll stay there and dry. And you do the same thing where you just let the ink run over the head of the pin and get it nice and coated. And we're going to just do one more, and then these will be set aside to dry. And in order to make the flowers look like they did on the card, all I did was I crumpled them up like this so that they get nice and bent. And then you can either take your Tim Holtz edge distresser, or you can grab a pair of your favorite scissors and just go around the outside. So you're removing some of that paper color to expose that white core. And I'm just going to do the same thing with all of the flower pieces. Okay, so our flowers are all tattered on the edges and our centers are just about dry. So all I'm going to do is push the pin through the center of each different layer. And then as you get to your second layer, you can kind of put it in at an angle so that your flower looks a little more realistic looking, where that it's sitting upright instead of flat. Okay, so then we have our 3 flowers all done, and we are ready to pretty much put together our card. So I've got my cardstock here. I've just cut it in my desired size, and I'm going to be layering some different paper along the bottom edge here. So just grab my Glue Glider Pro and put that down. You just trim your excess off. Okay, and then my next layer goes down, and I'm just putting this layer just above the scalloped edge that I've embossed in the card. And then before I put this layer on, I'm going to be putting my flowers in place. So if you want to put a little strip of that permatag and then kind of place your flowers where you want them. I made the one a lot taller than the other two. So I'm just going to bend the pin over and make it shorter than the other one, and then we'll stick the taller one in back. So you make it just like that, and if you want, you can take a little bit of Flower Soft and fasten those flowers down. But we're just gonna take this last piece of paper and put it over to cover our pins. And we'll trim that off as well. And then I have adhesive on my mat, so I don't want to stick my card down in there. There. Okay, so that's pretty much how you do that part. And then we're going to also be putting our little pendant on. We're going to just slide that underneath our flowers, and you can also just put a little bit of Glue Glider Pro adhesive to hold it in place. Okay, just like that. And then our Thinking of You, you can use your cat's eye ink and go around the outer edge here so that it pops out a little bit. And then use your Glue Glider Pro to put adhesive on the back. And then that just gets stuck right there in the center. And then I just took a little bit of Stickles, and this is yellow, and I used the Stickles to highlight just a few of the Swiss dots. And then once you have that done, you can take your Memento Rosebud ink and just go around the edges of the card. And your project is complete. We hope you enjoyed this project. If you have any questions or comments regarding it, please feel free to post your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. And if you'd like to purchase any of the things that we used today, you can visit customcrops.com.